Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Randy Morgan, and I'm here to spend a few minutes to talk about the importance of integrating LID practices into the urban fabric to create dynamic public spaces. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to all the organizations that made this happen. This is a wonderful event that's been put on from great host, and we're very, very grateful for that, to be your guests, and you've made us very welcome. In order to do a project like this, you have to build a team. We created a team of city planners, urban designers, landscape architects, and civil engineers. But equally as important were husbands, friends, and fathers, and were people who really care about the places that we live. Ultimately, cleaning the water and taking those opportunities speak more about the future, more about our kids and our grandkids than it does about what we're doing at one particular time, moment, space. Sometimes we forget that the sum of what we do is greater than the parts. It's easy to sit down in our offices and do our details one at a time. Greater than some of our parts. Thank you, Christian. I think this is a great example of what that would, an example of that. It's a wonderful little child playing in the water, and it was creating a stormwater event, and let's move to the next slide, sorry. So what we're trying to get to here is the idea of all the parts becoming more, adding up to more than what the sum would be. In this case, we're looking at Cherokee Boulevard. And so we're trying to understand what some of the parts are. Some others have already mentioned. Cherokee Boulevard is a typical suburban arterial. The character changes radically from north to south, from east to west, as you will. Moving from suburban to urban. The interesting thing is, and the important thing is that there's going to be a tremendous amount of redevelopment in this area in the future. And I think as Chattanooga continues to grow, the residential areas in this area continue to prosper, that it's going to churn into development opportunities along Cherokee Boulevard. That growth character, as growth of adjacent neighborhoods continue, the property is going to continue to increase in value and create opportunities. In addition, there needs to be better connections to Manufacturers Road. Some of the additional parts that we looked at, of course, are the best practices or LID practices, bioretention swells, runoffs, or permanent pavement, cisterns. So when we sat down to try to figure out a framework that would make sense in a way of developing a strategy for design, we started thinking about the different character zones along Cherokee Boulevard and some of the ways to integrate those practices of LID that could express the processes of water integrating itself back into the environment. Transpiration, evaporation, and infiltration became those key factors. We looked at integrating those practices that would best exemplify those particular processes along Cherokee Boulevard. In addition, we knew that the intersection of Gurley and Cherokee Boulevard were something that the planning department had looked at in the past as potential catalyst development. In addition, Manning, the intersection of Manning and Cherokee Boulevard also provides some opportunity for redevelopment. We began to dig a little bit deeper in that process. We developed three typical sections that began to show how the urban form changes along the corridor. And then we looked at the two primary intersections to see how could we integrate these best management practices in a way that would create urban spaces that could become future catalysts. It resulted in the creation of bioretention cells of 78,000 square feet, permeable pavers of 92,000 square feet, of 3,000, almost 3,000 linear foot runoff, 111 tree wells, total trees of 368. In addition to some of the technical aspects, we're able to, on a 20-acre site currently, there's 15.5 acres that are impervious. So simply by reducing the amount of impervious surface and using the USDA's TR55 small watershed hydrological model and resource rain calculations, we were able to determine that with 54,000 cubic feet that we were to restore, we were actually able to achieve 154,000 cubic feet, which would be capable of handling a 5-year storm. Lastly, while our initial cost of the green infrastructure is what we found initially, the long-term maintenance costs and life cycle costs far outweigh the initial installation costs, resulting in a green infrastructure that will have lasting benefits. So the question becomes, does the sum of what we're doing add up to more than the parts? We really try to focus in on the intersection of Main and Cherokee Boulevard to look at how we can integrate the zoning or the suggested zoning for the Cherokee Boulevard intersection and also resolve the major traffic conflicts. One of the ideas is to integrate a water tower that could become a visual connection from the north and south side of the river, also stormwater, and then how it could become an economic development catalyst for this neighborhood. Thank you very much.